So, Michael, give us an update. How's the bank treating you these days?
Treating him? He counts other people's money. That's his ceiling.
The entire table burst into laughter. Her father, her mother, even the cousins. Michael smiled back, a perfect, practiced smile that didn't reach his eyes.
To my husband, the vault counter, may he always know his place.
Well, not everyone can be a president, right? Someone's gotta do the small jobs.
How many years of that small job paid for this dinner she's mocking?
Now, let's not pick on the poor boy. He's trying.
The dinner carried on. Michael chewed his steak, each bite a reminder that he was invisible at this table. By the time dessert arrived, he had stopped tasting anything at all. The drive home was silent. Rebecca scrolled through her phone, while Michael stared at the road ahead.
Let it go. Just get through tonight.
They arrived at their apartment, the tension still hanging. Michael headed straight for the bedroom. Rebecca followed later, finding him already facing the wall. She slid into bed, oblivious. Hours later, while she slept, Michael slipped out of bed. He opened the closet, his movements precise, quiet.
2 years, they'll never see it coming.
He packed only what mattered. Some clothes, his laptop, and the silence he had been perfecting for months. He walked out the door without a word. In the pre-dawn darkness, his car pulled away, taillights fading. Rebecca woke to a cold pillow beside her. She looked around, then to the closet. His side was bare, every hanger empty. No note, no explanation.
Michael, where are you? Call me back right now. His phone is dead, completely dead.
She called everyone they knew. Friends, her parents, his family. No one had heard from him.
He just spiraled. You know how men get. Probably a midlife crisis.
She drove to the bank. His teller station stood empty. The manager hadn't seen him since the day before. By evening, she called the police. They filed a report, but the officer said it looked voluntary. No signs of struggle. She walked into their apartment that night, the silence louder than any argument they'd ever had. The closet still yawned open, like a mouth mocking her. Empty hangers clinked softly in the draft. She sat on his side of the bed, the sheets still carrying a hint of his scent, now fading.
No one needs to know the truth. He just spiraled. That's all.
2 years blurred by like ink on wet paper. Rebecca stayed at the bank, rising to senior teller.
Some mornings, she barely remembered the sound of his voice.
The bank itself was faltering. Rumors of bad loans and lost clients swirled through the lobby. Then the memo landed. A private investor group had recapitalized the bank. New leadership would be installed. All employees were ordered to attend a lobby ceremony to meet the new president.
Have you heard anything about who's taking over? This feels strange.
Her co-worker shrugged, looking just as lost. The rumors were terrifying.
14 years she'd been here. Could this be the end of everything?
The morning of the ceremony, the lobby hummed with silent panic. Everyone stood in rigid formation.
Something about this day felt wrong. Like a door she couldn't see was about to swing shut forever.
The ceremony was set to begin. Employees lined the lobby, their faces masks of forced optimism.
2 years of silence, and I am supposed to just stand here and smile? My ex probably never amounted to anything.
Her coworker nodded sympathetically, having heard the sanitized version of the story many times.
Probably a bum somewhere. That's what I tell everyone.
Suddenly, the main doors swung open with a heavy, deliberate creak. The lobby fell into dead silence. 2 silhouettes stepped through the light, a pair of executives. Between them, a figure in a perfectly tailored navy suit. A gold lapel pin glinted in the chandelier light as the man moved forward, his face still hidden in shadow.
Tears! There's something about that walk. No, it's nothing. Just nerves.
The man walked toward the podium, his footsteps clicking on the marble like a countdown. No one dared breathe. The ceremony was about to begin, and with it, a reckoning no one had seen coming. He reached the podium and turned, his back still to Rebecca. Yet something in the set of his shoulders made her breath catch. She was near the line's end. As he approached the first teller, his gait struck a discordant chord deep inside her. polished shoes clicked on marble. Each step was deliberate, each handshake crisp.
That confident stride. I know it. But it's impossible. It's just a coincidence. Anyone can wear a navy suit.
But her fingers found her name badge, and it rattled against her vest, a flash of profile. Jawline, ear. The dread in her stomach turned to ice. She wanted to bolt, but the line kept moving, and she was trapped.
He vanished 2 years ago. He's not coming back. This is someone else.
Yet as the president drew nearer, the air around her grew thin, and her lies began to suffocate her. He stopped at the teller just before Rebecca. His voice, calm and low, said, "Good morning." Rebecca's body went rigid.
That voice. It's exactly the same. The cadence, the pitch.
She had heard that voice every morning for 6 years. It couldn't be anyone else. The line inched forward. Rebecca's turn was approaching like a verdict. Her knees buckled. He moved to the next teller. His handshake was firm, his demeanor unreadable.
I need to get out of here. Right now.
But her feet were rooted to the marble. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, mocking her.
It can't be him. It's not possible. He's gone.
Her hand rose to her mouth, trembling uncontrollably. Tears welled at the edges, not yet falling. The president finished with the teller before her. Now, there was only one person left. Michael turned. For the first time, Rebecca saw his face fully. The same dark brown hair, the same narrow eyes. He extended his hand, waiting. Rebecca's arm moved on instinct, trembling violently.
Oh, God. It's him. It's really him.
His palm was dry and cool, the handshake brief and professional. No squeeze, no lingering. His eyes passed over her, like she was a stranger. No anger, no warmth, just nothing.
He looked right through me, like I was furniture.
He released her hand and shifted to the next teller, leaving her frozen midline, her fingers still hovering in the air.
2 years, and he didn't even flinch.
Around her, the line continued, as if nothing had happened. But for Rebecca, the world had just collapsed. He didn't look back, not once. And in that silence, she finally understood how deeply she had wounded him. The handshake line dispersed. Michael stepped to the podium, his voice steady as he began his address.
Effective immediately. We will implement rigorous performance metrics. Excellence is expected, not rewarded.
Rebecca stood rigid among the crowd, the words washing over her unheard.
He's in charge of everything, of me.
When the speech ended and the employees began to disperse, Rebecca pushed forward, desperate to catch him alone. Her heart hammered. A security guard intercepted her, his arm barring her path. The message was clear. No personal meetings with the president.
Unavailable. After 6 years, I am just another employee.
Behind her, whispers ignited like dry tinder. That's the ex-wife. She had no idea.
They all know, every humiliating detail.
She watched the heavy oak door close behind Michael. The secretary's face a mask of pity as the lock clicked shut. That evening, the bank emptied out. Rebecca lingered, watching the executive floor light through the glass. She saw the light under Michael's door. She straightened her vest and walked forward. The secretary at the desk looked up with a rehearsed expression. "He won't see you, Mrs. Reeves." Rebecca's throat tightened. "Please, just a minute." The secretary's face remained stone. The secretary pressed a button. "Security will escort you out." Rebecca stepped back, her plea dying. Inside his office, Michael sat in the dim light, staring at a bank of security monitors. On the screen, he watched Rebecca's defeated retreat, her shoulders slumped. His finger hovered over the intercom. He leaned back, not a trace of emotion crossing his face. The silence stretched like a deliberate weapon. She never saw the camera. She never knew his eyes tracked her every humiliated step. The hallway felt dark on the monitor. Michael didn't blink. The silence was louder than any punishment. The next morning, a memo circulated. 3 tellers terminated. Performance, it said. The lobby fell silent. Rebecca's heart stuttered. She had trained 2 of them. Their nameplates were already gone.
It's starting. He's cleaning house, and I am on the list.
For a week, she walked on glass. Coworkers scattered at her approach. Even the coffee machine felt hostile. Then, one morning, she found it. A white envelope tucked under her keyboard. No name, no seal. Inside, a single line of handwriting. Neat, deliberate. Your time is coming. M.
Mem Michael. He's been watching me this whole time.
Her hands shook violently. The paper almost tore. Cameras loomed everywhere, unseen before.
This isn't a threat. It's a promise. He'll destroy me piece by piece.
She stuffed the note into her pocket, where it burned against her thigh like a live coal. She tried to focus, but the note's words echoed louder than the deposit slips she counted. That afternoon, a customer slammed his hand on the counter. You shortchanged me. I want your manager. She flinched. Before she could explain, the man was already pointing, and a crowd was forming. Nearby tellers glanced over, their whispers slicing through the chaos. She's coming apart. The branch manager appeared, a tired man who avoided her eyes. Mrs. Reeves, my office. Now, inside the cramped office, he laid it out like a death sentence. One more complaint, and you are terminated. New policy. She heard the words like distant thunder. But I've been here 14 years. The manager cut her off. He wouldn't meet her gaze. I am sorry, Rebecca. The directives come from upstairs. I can't help you.
From upstairs. Michael, he's not just watching, he's orchestrating every step.
She walked out of that office with her career, hanging by a thread, the note in her pocket suddenly feeling like a prophecy. The bank closed at 6. By 7, the lobby was a cave of silence, lit only by exit signs and amber nightlights. Michael appeared from the executive corridor, his footsteps soft on the marble. No guards, no witnesses. He stopped at Rebecca's station. His fingers brushed the back of her chair, then rested on her keyboard. From his jacket, he withdrew a white envelope, sealed and crisp. He placed it squarely on the keys.
This isn't revenge. It's rebalancing.
He looked at her nameplate, Rebecca Reeves, for a long moment. The light above flickered once.
She's about to learn that actions have compound interest.
He turned and walked back the way he came, his figure swallowed by the dark hallway. The envelope glowed under the teller lamp, a white square of finality, waiting for the morning. The camera panned up to a security monitor, its red light blinking. Somebody had watched every frame. The next morning, an hour before opening, Rebecca pushed through the glass doors. Her eyes found the envelope immediately. Her hand trembled as she tore it open. The official bank letterhead stared back at her. The narrator read the cold text. Effective immediately. You are being transferred to the Huntington branch, 6 states away, as part of the bank's restructuring. At the bottom, handwritten in Michael's precise script, reasonable accommodation. Rebecca's knees buckled. She gripped the counter, the paper trembling in her hand.
6 states away. He's exiling me.
Her breath came in shallow gasps. The lobby swam around her.
This isn't a warning or a performance review. This is the end.
She collapsed into her chair, the transfer notice crumpling in her fist. The coffee she'd brought grew cold beside her. For a long moment, she sat motionless, the weight of the words crushing her chest. Rage overcame paralysis. Rebecca shot up from her chair, the transfer notice crushed in her fist. She stormed through the lobby, past the startled secretary, and threw open the heavy oak door. Michael didn't flinch.
A branch 6 states away, in the middle of nowhere. Is this your idea of revenge, Michael?
Revenge? It's a lateral move. The bank is restructuring. I trust you'll find it reasonable.
Reasonable? You disappeared for 2 years, came back to destroy me, and you call this reasonable?
You made a bet on my ceiling. Now I own the vault. Consider this a reasonable accommodation of your expectations.
You are punishing me for one cruel joke at dinner. I didn't mean it, Michael. Please.
You said it to your parents, to your friends, to strangers. You meant every word. This is simply consequence.
He turned back to his papers. The dismissal was absolute. The silence in the room felt like a closing vault door. Rebecca's breath came in ragged bursts. She opened her mouth, but no words came. She was utterly defeated.
Michael, please. We were married. I know I made mistakes. Can't you find room to forgive?
Forgive? You systematically dismantled me. This isn't personal. It's business.
She reached for his hand across the desk. He withdrew it smoothly.
I am sorry. I've been sorry for 2 years. Give me a chance to make it right.
You were right. I counted other people's money. Now I own the vault. You'll be counting deposits at a branch where no one knows your name. You have 24 hours. Accept the transfer or resign. Either way, you vanish.
You destroy me over one dinner joke?
Over a pattern of contempt. Now get out. I have a bank to run.
She stood there, the ultimatum ticking in her ears like a time bomb. She returned to her apartment, the silence heavier than any noise. The walls seemed to press in on her. From a drawer, she pulled an old photograph, their wedding day. Both smiling, her veil catching the sun.
Look at us. He used to look at me like I was his whole world.
Then she heard it again. Her own voice from that night, sharp, cruel, final.
He counts other people's money. That's his ceiling. I broke him. I handed him the hammer he's using now.
She reached for her phone, her fingers trembling, and called the one person she thought might understand.
A transfer? Well, maybe it's for the best. You always did aim too low with that one.
Dad, I need help, not judgment.
You made your bed. Don't expect us to fix it.
The line went dead. She sat alone, the photo trembling in her lap, and finally understood. She was completely alone. The next morning, she walked into the bank with the drained face of someone who had stopped fighting. She didn't look at the teller stations. She walked straight to the HR door, her footsteps hollow.
I am here to sign the transfer papers, the Huntington branch.
The HR manager slid the documents across the desk without meeting her eyes. No questions, no sympathy.
My signature on his paperwork. The final surrender.
She signed. The pen scratched loud in the quiet room. It was done. Effective tomorrow. We wish you well. Rebecca didn't respond. She simply stood and walked out. She returned to her teller station. Her nameplate was already missing. A cardboard box waited on her chair.
14 years, and it fits in a box.
She packed a stapler, a mug, a plant. Each item a small surrender. She lifted the cardboard box from the counter. Its weight nothing compared to the ache pressing against her ribs. Turning from her station, she saw him. Michael, standing alone at the corridor's end, motionless as a photograph. His hands were in his pockets, his navy suit uncreased. He might have been carved from stone, waiting.
He came to watch me leave. The final punctuation on his sentence of revenge.
Their eyes met across the marble floor. She searched his face for a crack, a flicker, but found nothing.
I am sorry, Michael, for everything I did.
He held her gaze for a heartbeat. Then, nothing. Not a nod, not a blink, just the cold, familiar silence. She walked past him, the box between them a wall. Her footsteps echoed on the marble, a slow march to exile. The glass door swung shut behind her with a quiet click, and the lobby returned to its quiet hum. 3 days later, Rebecca pushed open the door of a branch, so small it had no lobby, just a counter and a flickering light. The Huntington branch smelled of damp carpet and stale coffee. A single customer stared at her, unblinking. No one here knew her name, her history. She was just another teller counting other people's money. 600 miles away, Michael stood on a stage, accepting a turnaround CEO of the Year plaque. The applause washed over him, polite and rhythmic, but his mind was elsewhere. In the break room, Rebecca found a crumpled newspaper. The headline stopped her cold.
They called him a visionary. I called him a ceiling.
In every interview, Michael smiled on cue, but his eyes never joined in. Rebecca folded the page and tucked it into her drawer, a ghost of what she destroyed. And in his corner office, Michael stared out at the skyline, The silence his only true companion. Weeks passed in the same gray rhythm. Rebecca woke, worked, and came home to the same small apartment. She kept the wedding photo in her nightstand drawer, its edges soft from her thumb. One morning at the branch, she flipped through a financial magazine while sipping bitter coffee, and there he was, Michael, smiling on a full-page ad for the bank, confident and untouchable.
Even now, he's still counting, but the numbers are finally behind his name.
She tore out the page, her fingers steady, but her eyes glistening. She folded it once, twice, and slipped it into the bottom drawer of her desk, next to an old transfer notice. The teller bell chimed. She looked up, a customer, impatient and frowning. Rebecca straightened, smoothed her vest, and forced a smile that never touched her eyes.
Good morning. Welcome to Huntington Bank. How may I help you today?
600 miles away, the main branch hummed with orderly efficiency. New tellers staffed polished stations, their nameplates still shiny. In the corner office, Michael's chair was pushed back, precisely, as if he had just stepped out for a moment. The gold lapel pin sat alone on the desk, a small monument to a battle no one else remembered. At Rebecca's old teller station, a young woman in a new vest counted currency with practiced ease. Her name badge read Sophia. No one whispered about the woman who had been there before. The security camera in the corner blinked its red light, recording another ordinary day in a bank that never stopped. The vault door stood open as a guard yawned, millions of dollars circulating in a cycle that never paused. The camera pulled back through the glass doors, and the building became just another tower in a forest of steel. And the narrator said, closing the book on two lives that had once intersected in this marble hall, some bets are safe, because the house always wins.